royally screwed.
So today's topic is Skyrim, where we've written down
Worth.
I'm not sure if the hours, days, months of my life that we lose to it are worth it. Yeah, we'll find out.
True. I think it was pretty worth it for anyone that enjoyed Skyrim. I think anyone that hasn't played Skyrim, definitely worth it. For people that have already played it and kind of enjoyed it, or have already done everything you can, there's nothing new to experience other than the mods. And I haven't played with them at all, but there's a lot of things potential.
So, obviously PC is going to be the master race for mods. So all of my hopes for what's going to be on Xbox are a little outshined right now. But as far as the mods that are there, there's helpful ones, obviously. There's one that lets you have a mission marker for the Stones of Baron's Eye. And that's really cool. Haven't played with it yet, but that's really cool because that's an annoying quest. But
the only counter to that is like you could literally just Google the locations
and not ruin achievements.
Yeah.
But then there are cool ones like manors and mansions and hilltop houses. But here's the thing. I bought the breeze home. I made it nice. It's got everything I need. I will eventually build a Hearthfire house because, you know, I want to be SimCity up in this bitch. But, I don't really think I need the house mods. Not until the really cool PC ones that let you customize everything and have 100 of every rack and armor rack and everything.
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of mods, I mean, the mods that increase how many spells that are in the game, those have got to be helpful. Ones that increase, like, give you extra missions, things like that. I mean, they gotta add some kind of experience to the game that you haven't never had before. Those are the ones that change up the entire skill tree system. Like, that's gotta change the game so much.
The one for the werewolf I'm very interested in, because I always felt like the werewolf was so cool in the beginning, but then you outshine it so far later and you just never want to go back to it. I want a reason to keep using it, because the werewolf is freaking cool. Vampire Lord, I feel like they kind of hit it where you finally hit that power spike you should be at by that level. Whereas the werewolf just kind of drops off after the first couple of hours of gameplay, honestly.
Yeah, true. I remember my first gameplay, through it. I enjoyed becoming it, and then I got annoyed after waiting 13 hours until the werewolf, ended, and then tried to get out of the door or latch or whatever.
Yeah, locked doors are your enemy when you're a werewolf. You can't do anything.
Yeah, when you're going through the main quest and you're with the blades or whatever, and you're trying to something with Falmor or whatever, you just have to kill all of them or whatever. Yeah, I use it there. That was one of the main times I ever used it, and I really enjoyed doing it because I was literally just rage through everything. But then I sat there. That was my next experience. It was 2 minutes of just sitting there.
Yeah, every time that I've transformed in a cave or whatever to take care of the opposition, I take care of the opposition with extreme prejudice, and it's awesome. But then I set the controller down, and I go, take a dump, and I'm back. And eventually I'm a human again, and it's okay, now I can keep playing. So that I wish there was a manual relinquish of the reform.
Which the mod takes care of.
Yes. There's a mod that does that. And, there's, I think the same one lets you transform multiple times a day, which if you do enjoy the werewolf form, that does help.
Now, with the Fallout mod, whenever those came out, you got armors and cool stuff like that just didn't exist in the game. I haven't seen any of those yet.
Well, if you play a female character, you can get all kinds of cool shit that don't exist yet. So, if you
that
really
bikini barbarian armor.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want it, it's out there. But for the more classical player that wants their orc warrior to look like an orc warrior chieftain should, there just really isn't much out there right now. But that's why I kind of go back to the PC thing, because I went through a whole bunch of mods that I was so excited for. I was like, please be on Xbox. And I've not seen jack shit.
There was that one that you were looking for that had like all the new armors and whatever.
Yes, 55 new armors, like 200 something weapons, all kinds of cool stuff.
See, that would be awesome, especially for Skyrim, where in Skyrim it's all about the Nords, which are a warrior race, no matter which Elder Scrolls you play. So having more armors and weapons, which, all in fairness, they did a good job first in the main game, but having the mod to do more with it could be nice.
Well, especially consider this is a remaster, this is a replay. Yep. I mean, unless you're living under a rock, played Skyrim. Meaning, you've already, like, I'm blazing through conversation because I've already heard it, and all this armor's cool, but I've seen it. I want the remaster to give me that new experience. Like, yes, Skyrim is a wonderful game that's worth replaying regardless, but let's be honest, we're Americans. We want new, shiny things every time. So, you know, getting a chance to get new weapons, new armors that we just haven't seen yet, that aren't game breaking. Like, I'm very, very glad I'm resisting the urge of like the level up potions or the rings that give you a plus 100 or 1,000 or something to all your stats. Like, that's game breaking. But adding 55 new armors, no, that's cool. You can kind of hang back. It's like, yeah, I know I got 100 quests to do, but they just add a new like a metal ingot. You go find it or whatever, and then you can make this really cool armor set that you never could have before. Like, for me, I would gladly spend hours doing that because it's something new while still being familiar to what Skyrim was that made me spend. I need to look it up on my Xbox because I've got so many hours on my day. Over 1,000 saves.
So, question for you. One of the main discourages, the things that people don't like about the new system is, well, they didn't do anything to the combat. Nothing at all. And Skyrim's original combat system, when it came out, it was dated. It was you charge, you do a power attack, and you do a normal attack. You have block. There's no dodge roll other than people that want to sneak route, which was for a sneaky dodge, which didn't do much any which way.
It only helped in the initiation. It didn't help in the overall combat, which is what you're getting at.
Yeah, and then the magic. It could be powerful at certain levels. It was pretty weak at most levels. You can just how fast you attack, and one thing, and then how fast damage is dealt with magic. It just seemed very unfair. So, which keep in mind we're in the Nords area, so magic wasn't supposed to be the huge focus here.
Oh yeah, my dude gets torn.
But the whole thing was, it wasn't a great system. Having dragons into Elder Scrolls was awesome, but and the dragon system was alright, but with the game being already years old, now we're reintroducing it again, and nothing's changed about the combat. Nothing. Yeah, I enjoy it because I enjoy playing the older games. I
never played Morrowind, and I only played Oblivion when I was at your house, and all I really did was, I think, steal cabbages, and I remember getting super excited because I didn't understand that Oblivion, or basically Elder Scrolls games in general, had bugs. They had issues, and they were fun to find and exploit, and I remember finding, I think it was like a paintbrush floating in the air, and it was cool.
Yep, paintbrush.
Because I jumped and landed on it. Paintbrush this big, and I'm up in the air standing on it because it was glitched. So that was cool. That was cool. The game was fun.
Speaking of glitches and things like that, this remastered version didn't do anything to fix any of those. One of the biggest ones that bothered me back in the original, you first got it, and you're like, oh, I want to do this. Cool. You find a Shrine of Talos. You hit A, and it comes back, and you're like, okay, what did this do? So you hit B, go over to the magic, you go all the way down, and you're like, time of shouts reduced 0%. And you're just staring at the screen like, fuck, I screwed up. What did I do? Turns out that it still gave you the 20%, time off, but the game calculator calculates it as 0.2, and they never fixed it. The display is showing 0.02 or 0.2 instead of 20%.
That's probably why I wear an annual Talos, because it gives me 20%.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but no, well, I mean, the shrine itself still gives you the actual discount of time, but it doesn't give you the actual display saying it. Like, it's something that is in a very easy string that you can just go in there and literally hit backspace twice and fix. But they were just lazy enough to not do it.
They did a visual overhaul, which
looks
until I see the side-by-side comparison, I mean, it honestly looks exactly the same. Then maybe again, that's just me being naive, because when Halo 1 Anniversary came out and I played it, I was like, nothing changed. This is exactly how I remember when I hit the back button. And I was like, holy shit, that's what it looked like? So maybe I'm suffering from those effects. So maybe I believe that it looks the same when it doesn't.
That actually would have been a nice feature, though. Like having some kind of filter or a start button that could, a start button option to go back and play the original design to see the differences.
Yeah, because I mean, if that is in fact their highlight of revamping the graphics, words apart, then I think it would be nice to be able to go back and see those moments. That's why I enjoy it on Halo, because you can actually appreciate all that they've done. You go back and see, it was like they hit the color palette with like 6 colors. Now you've got textures and colors and lights that were never there. Like those ambient effects you can appreciate as a gamer for a game that you were very passionate about. And now Skyrim, that I would definitely put in my top 5 of favorite games. I have no way to really compare to the past, because I can't tell the difference in graphics. Again, it's my blocker. Combat didn't change. They didn't add any new features, really. It was really just the
quick save. That's probably the main feature I liked about it.
Yeah, the quick save is nice. But whenever you think about a game that you've already played to death, you kind of feel like you should have a little something extra along with it. I don't know, maybe if they would have actually done another DLC past Dragonborn that
would be cool.
That you only got with the special edition, obviously still getting the prior ones, Dragonborn and Dawnguard, but
I think it would have been nice if you had all the DLCs that you already purchased them. They're on 360, so it's not like you can't see that they're there. Yeah. And they're things you have to download, so you would see it in the cloud if they gave discounts. Like half off if you had all of them, and like $10 for each one or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been nice, I suppose, because
if that was there, then I wouldn't be so upset about them not adding or fixing things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know exactly the number, but a fair amount of money between Skyrim and then the DLCs that followed. So any opportunity to be like, hey man, like we appreciate that you stuck with us all the time and you bought all these, that, it's like, hey, the game should be half off or something. Or, you get half off for every DLC that you bought, so that would kind of help. Yeah. I mean, $60 for a game that I have already invested a lot more time in and will probably continue to, I suppose, is not a complaint I should really concern myself with, just when I really think about how many games I've spent money on and played once and never again. Like, Skyrim's a game that I get my money's worth out of, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we've talked about this quite a bit. Plenty more coming, guys.